What's up, everybody? Welcome back or to the channel. So today we are going to be doing something a little bit different. Today, because we're only a couple days away from Halloween, we're going to do a Halloween project, which is going to be a lot of fun. So for many of you who might not know, I'm a huge zombie fan. I love zombie movies and I love The Walking Dead. Now, I do have many characters in The Walking Dead that I really like, but one that I really do like that has grown on me is the character Negan. And for many of you who know who that character is, his iconic weapon is a barbed wire bat. So that's what we're going to be building today. We are going to be building our very own at-home Negan bat. So without further ado, let's jump in and see what we got to do to make this happen. Okay, so I went ahead and pulled my workbench out here in the driveway. It's actually a pretty nice day out, so I figure it's a good day to get some good lighting. So let's take a look at what we're working with. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the bat that Negan uses in The Walking Dead is a Louisville Slugger wooden bat, but I believe his is a 36-inch bat. Now, if you look here, I have a 34-inch bat, okay? 36 is a pretty big bat to be carrying around, especially for home protection and so forth. So being that this project is primarily going to be more of just something I'm going to hang on the wall, it's also going to be more for home protection. So a 34-inch bat, I think, gives a good bit of control over the bat. Now, I do have another bat over here somewhere. I think over here. Okay, I got a couple of these. Mainly because my wife is a huge zombie fan and a Negan fan as well. So I actually bought a 32-inch bat for her. So I got a 34-inch bat for me, and I got a 32-inch bat for her. Because any smaller, they start to just become too small, and your hands are going to end up being too close to the barbed wire. That's why I like a 32 or a 34-inch bat, because it gives you plenty of room to grip the bat, where your barbed wire is going to be starting much further up the bat like that. Now, if you want any of these products that we're talking about today, I will leave links in the description. I did order these Louisville Slugger bats off Amazon. Again, I don't like to list prices because prices nowadays tend to always go up and down so quick. It's hard to say. But I'd say at the time I bought these, which was probably within the past few weeks, I paid probably around $40 to $50 per bat. Now, if you happen to have an older wooden bat laying around, you could use that as well and save the money and not buy a new bat. So let me set this aside over here. So typically, if you're going to have an older wooden bat, I would always make sure that you inspect the bat to make sure that it's in good standing. It's not cracked, it's not split, it's not, dry rotted and falling apart. As long as it's a good wooden bat, I would say if you want, you can always take some sandpaper to it, sand it down very good, and then go ahead and stain it, whatever color stain you would like to choose. But for this particular application here, this is a brand new bat with more of a natural look to it. I'm not going to worry about staining it any further just because I actually like the way it looks as it sits right now. Then I went on Amazon and I ordered some barbed wire. Now again, you want to be very careful when you're handling barbed wire because it could definitely hurt you. But I ordered this, again, very inexpensive. But again, I'll put the link in the description. And then I just went to the hardware store and I picked up a couple different staples. I have a number 5 cloth staple, which are a little smaller. And then I have a number 11 steel staple here, which are a little bit bigger. So again, I wasn't sure which ones I was gonna use. But again, these are only like $1 a piece. So I figured I'd buy 2 of them. So in terms of total cost so far, again, I paid around $40 to $50 for the bat, about $10 to $12 for the barbed wire, and then like $1 or so for the staples. So I'd say you could probably build a brand new Negan bat for, let's say, around $60. But if you happen to have an old wooden bat that you find used or laying around or one of those play it again sports places, go grab a used bat. You don't need to buy new. But I'm just letting you know that if you wanted a brand new one, you could get these off Amazon pretty affordably. So here's what we're going to have to do. We're going to start with the barbed wire. I'm going to get this unpackaged. And then you're typically going to want to start about right as the neck starts to kind of get wider. So I'm probably going to start mine about right here, give or take. And you're going to put a staple in to hold it in place. Then we're going to wrap the barbed wire all the way up the bat. And then when we get to the very top, we'll probably double or triple wrap it, tuck it in, and then we'll start putting our staples in last to hold everything in place. So let me get this unraveled and we'll be right back and we'll get this started. Okay, so again, now I would always recommend using some type of gloves because working with this barbed wire can sometimes poke you and hurt you. So sometimes if you're just not careful, you might want to wear some gloves. But for some of you out there, just be careful. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we have to have a starting point. So now that we got our first staple in place, then you just want to tightly wind it up the back. Now again, be very careful because this stuff is not fun to mess around with because it could definitely hurt you. So I did go ahead and grab some work gloves here just because the bat is very slippery and it's hard to hold on to the bat and stop it from slipping out of place while you're trying to wind this up. Let's just keep continuing on. Okay, so we're back. So here's what I got so far. It's been going pretty good. I definitely do recommend having a pair of gloves around because I've already cut myself in a couple spots on my wrist, on my hand, over here. So I got a little bit of blood smearing here, but nothing major. But you got to be careful with this barbed wire. And again, this is a thinner gauge. I believe it's an 18 gauge wire. So just keep in mind, you do not need a very thick barbed wire or you're not going to be able to do this. You want something thin enough that will actually be able to bend and wrap. So again, this is an 18 gauge barbed wire, but so far it's going pretty good. But as you can see, as I was doing it, I was putting staples along the way throughout the whole process. Because again, this will unravel very quickly. This stuff is not very forgiving. So you're gonna have to wrap like 1 or 2 loops, put a staple in, 1 or 2 loops, put a staple in, and then rotate the staples on different positions. Once you get it pretty much where you want it, like I do here, I would then recommend going back through in a few other areas and putting different staples in. Now I ended up using these number 5 cloth staples, the smaller ones. They tend to work easier. I didn't even use the bigger ones here. So again, I went with these number 5 cloth staple tacks here, and the rest was fairly easy. It just takes a little bit of finesse to try to get it wrapped around without cutting yourself, but you're gonna have to be careful because this stuff will cut you. But once you get it wrapped around pretty good, get it stapled, go back through with a few more staples in different positions and just really make sure that's held very well in place. And then at the very end, I cut the barbed wire with these tails a little longer, okay? That way I can actually, I'm gonna spread them like that and tuck them behind here and staple them in so that they're gonna be held a lot tighter. So again, let me go back through, add a few more staples, and then we're gonna be right back. Okay, everybody, we are finally done. I got a few little cuts here and there, but nothing major, nothing we can't handle. Let's take a closer look at our new NEGAN bat. Here you go. The official Louisville Slugger. This is in a 34-inch length, all wood bat, 18 gauge barbed wire, stapled all the way around. Everything's nice and tight. Again, at the very end here, as you can see right here, I split the pigtails here, one over here, crossed one over here, just to make sure it wasn't going to pull loose. And again, all done. Looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty sweet. Again, this is going to be a cool little collector's item that I'm just going to hang on the wall. Again, eventually I might add a little bit of paint or stain or some fake blood droppings on here just to give it a little bit of a cooler look. Just because, again, this is really just meant for it to hang on the wall as a Walking Dead memorabilia per se, but it could also be used for home protection, so let's not forget about that. But again, this is the 34 length, and again, 18 gauge barbed wire, very sharp, looks pretty sweet. Okay, everybody, we're finally done. So again, as you can see, this is actually very simple to put together. All you need is a wooden bat, some thinner 18 gauge barbed wire, and some smaller metal tacks, a hammer, maybe a cutter, some gloves is definitely recommended. But again, it just takes a little bit of time and finesse to get it wrapped around, put the staples in place, put it all together, and it looks pretty awesome at the end. So again, if you're a Walking Dead fan and a Negan fan and you want to make a Negan barbed wire bat at home yourself, just check out the links in the description because I put each one of these products in the description box. So again, that's it for today's video. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like this video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. And do me a favor, subscribe to the channel because it definitely helps me out and I greatly appreciate it. So that's it. I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you. I truly appreciate you all. And as always, see you in the next video.